You know.
Right. So, as far as the UFO goes, what that UFO that you've seen, how big was it? If you had to guess.
Well, you got to realize it was 3 blocks away.
Oh, really?
It wasn't right in front of me. It was, I was looking down on Sunset Boulevard where Shakey's Pizza was, and it was a good 3 to 4 blocks away. But it was so bright. I think the thing that makes it real to me that it was is the way it hovered very brightly and then blacked out instantly. It didn't fade like a light that burns out or goes out.
Right.
Like if you go down any street these days in rural America or any street, city America, the lights are timed to stay on and go off to conserve energy. Well, if you watch them, if you happen to be under one of those lights that goes out on a timer, it fades. You actually see the light dim and then it goes out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stick around long enough, it comes back on. Did you know that?
Yeah. Straight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, this thing didn't do that. It didn't fade out at all. It just went blip. And I said, wow, it disappeared. Is what it did.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. When you say it fade out, did it, like, in one shot just disappear, like shot off, or just went out? Okay.
Like the shutter of a 35mm camera. Just quick, gone.
Wow. And it was it put off a really bright light, I think, from what you're saying also, correct?
Yeah. Very. It wasn't pulsating. A lot of these UFOs have on the perimeter pulsating lights, or the lights move in a circular, rotating fashion, as if to convey that there's some kind of energy around the vehicle, or that it has some kind of gyroscopic rotation. No, I didn't have any of that, and not all of them do that. Just I would say a majority of them have that characteristic. This one was just hovering. And I'll tell you, I couldn't tell the size of it because, you know what? UFOs come in all sizes.
Mm-hmm.
During the war, I don't know if you know this, but during the war, American pilots, saw what they call Foo Fighters. Right on their wings, right in front of them. These were little, and I mean little, I'm talking about 10 inches, 12 inches. These little vehicles or little spots were just around them all the time, and they would dart and then they would disappear. Now that could be a remote viewing device by a mothership that's way, way, way hundreds of miles up above the Earth, and these are just surveillance cameras. Still, it's a UFO. It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is, but we see it. And many pilots saw it, not just one, many times. They're called Foo Fighters. There's even a rock group called the Foo Fighters, and based on that story. So this is something from World War II, and it's even been alluded to that there is documentation that Nazi Germany recovered a crashed UFO. And Hitler was even interested in getting information as to how it got there and what they could do with it. This is before V2, before the V2 rockets came about.
Mm-hmm.
He was just lathering to get some kind of new, military advantage over his enemies, quote unquote enemies. So there's a lot there. There's a tremendous history of being visited. We even have something here in the United States back in 1872. They made a picture about it. Aliens and Cowboys. That was about, 8-10 years ago?
Yeah.
That's based on a true visitation in 1872 out west.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was
It's been documented, and it was in the newspaper. And the newspaper article is still visible on the Internet. You can still read it. The local newspaper took it, and they wrote it up. So,
I think the Foo Fighters, both sides had encounters with the Foo Fighters, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. To be truthful, it was not just Americans, but, I'm an American. What can I tell you?
Yeah, no, because I think we both thought, well, it's German technology, and I think they might have thought it was our technology, and it was neither one of ours. And yeah. I think you're right. It could have been like drone from aliens or a camera or something to kind of like see what's going on from a distance, maybe from another ship or something. Makes sense.
Yeah, they're not manned at all. These are remote control things, and as a matter of fact, there's probably even larger ones that are remote controlled. And in my book, I mentioned in book 3, I mentioned how aliens are very small for a very strategical reason. You can fit more of them in a smaller space if they're half the size of us, okay? Mm-hmm. And another thing I noticed that Peru, I just checked this on the internet, the average height of a Peruvian is 5.4 inches. The average height of an American, or people in the United States, is 5.95 inches, more than 5 inches taller. The people in Peru are small, like the aliens.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they go down there? They feel comfortable around them, It's like, they're like us, the small bodies.
And I've wondered also maybe that the Greys, maybe they're like a biological robot, so to speak, a combination thereof. They're not really the alien. They're kind of like the workers, so to speak.
Yeah, like a doll body, made of rubber or part rubber, part rayon. Who knows? Synthetics and so forth. They don't eat. They don't have a stomach. They don't have a mouth to speak of, because they communicate telepathically. So yeah, of course. Hey, by the way, could we switch off of the paranormal just for a minute? Maybe it'd be also interesting to your listeners. You were telling me that you ride motorcycles.
No, I don't ride motorcycles.
Okay. But you did it one time.
Yeah.
You did it one time.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because I was just having just a real quick chat about that, because I'm still interested in getting into the motorcycle and riding. I used to ride years back and enjoyed it a lot. Okay, so I wanted to veer off there in case there was something of interest that you wanted to talk about. Because the show is not just about me, And I might mention...
Go ahead.
I might mention that I have some friends to listen in tonight. My brother, Randy, the CDL driver. My other brother, Mike. Nigel, who's out in Knoxville. A friend here in Nashville. And some friends around. So if they're listening, I just want to shout out to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You can always call in. I think they can call in, can't they? If they have a question or they have some kind of, they want to bring up some kind of experience.
I don't know if we can call in tonight, but they can chat on through the Spreaker app. They can chat and ask any questions.
Okay, so how would they do that? Would they do a text message? How would they do that?
Just when you go on the app, you can just type right in on the internet on the Spreaker app.
Ah, great.
You could have your brother, your brother, other truck drivers, tell them about the show. A lot of truck drivers do. A lot of truck drivers out there, they have call in and tell us about the UFOs and things they've seen while out, driving, especially out through the southwest area of the United States.
Isn't it amazing? I was just reading how North Carolina and South Carolina, there's an abundance of sightings down there.
Yeah, all over the place. We get them all the time.
How's that for chiming in? I just read it. I have this thing called Feed Spot. I pay for it yearly, and it feeds me all of the sightings, with or without videos, with or without photographs. And there's just oodles and oodles and oodles of them. We're talking thousands of them.
All kinds. There's a lot of reports, and a lot of truck drivers see a lot of stuff because they're out on the road, late at night and stuff.
Yeah,
and you can tell your brother, tell all the truck drivers to tune into the show.
Let me just read FeedSpot. This is just a handful of the hundreds that I'm staring at that I don't even have time to look at. U.S. Congressman warns UFOs could pose a serious threat. Black Triangle sighting in Charleston, South Carolina. Alien encounter in Georgia. UFO sighting in Prescott. Let's see, another one. Fireball explodes over Canada. UFO sighting in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And then each one that I open up has several other related stories. But it just goes on and on and on. And this has been going on for years.
Yeah, right. And you wouldn't believe the reports we get from truck drivers out, the stuff they see,
Yeah.
The one guy, he seen a UFO beam up a cow and drop it down. I mean, you can't unsee stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's something that you want to tell your grandchildren, definitely.
Yeah, really.
That's great. That's great.
So,
Oh, well, I've just got hundreds of them here. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and
So
you
what else
only
do you want to know?
well, as far as the UFOs go, you've only seen, was it just the one in '79, or have you seen any after that?
Yeah, well, I saw Fireball that same year. Extremely shocking. This was a meteor that became a meteorite, and I've been trying to search the LA Times archives to see if anybody ever reported. It was, again, this was during the daytime, right in the middle of the daytime, and it was, I think, from the roof again. No, it was in the street. It was in the street. I was coming home. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I looked up, and by golly, just like in the movies when they show a meteor coming to Earth, a large one coming to Earth and exploding, this thing was coming right at me from the south, directly from the south, and it was burning up the sky. And I'm surprised that people weren't screaming in the streets. But again, like I say, people, they walk with their heads down or they're just in the clouds. Apparently nobody saw this except me. And I know I saw it. And I know what I saw. This was a meteorite, very large. And before it got to the Earth, it completely burned up. But while it was in the atmosphere, this thing was glowing red hot for at least 30 seconds. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that technically isn't a UFO because I knew it was a meteorite.
Right.
That did happen. Okay?
Right. When you seen the UFO, did you have any weird feelings come over you, or what was your state of mind like?
No, yeah. You think, well, maybe they're putting out some kind of, beam,
mm-hmm.
To hypnotize people. But no, it was just, again, I think it was probably one of these reconnaissance, these remote control things that just happened to be lit up.
Okay.
You know.
Have you ever did any research to see if anybody reported another sighting that day or night?
I did. I tried to find in the 1979 Los Angeles archives any mention of strange lights over sunset, and I could not, by that particular key words, phrase, I could not find anything. So I gave up. I just can't spend a lot of time on that.
Right.
But, as to the veracity, there's no doubt in my mind, because if it happened in just a second or two, I'd dismiss it. But it was just, I was looking at it for minutes. So it didn't go anywhere, and then finally it just blanked out instantaneously. So.
Right, and I actually seen one about 2 weeks ago, broad daylight, and it was extremely high up and extremely fast. And it wasn't any aircraft that I know that we have that could be that fast, that high up. And I was in so awe of it that I didn't even film it. I took a picture of it, of all things. It was just, it really, I was just amazed,
Well, yeah, that's great. You did photograph it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good. Are you going to post it?
I haven't, but I probably will. I should. I mean, it's
okay.
I don't know what it was. I'm not saying it was anything. I just know that I've never seen anything that high up, that fast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that I know of doesn't mean that we don't have secret stuff that can do that. I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of secret stuff, there's a major effort on to raid Area 51 in September. 2,000 people have signed on to.
Oh boy!
To rush the gate and to expose the alien ships and what they've been doing with preserving the bodies, and I got this from FeedSpot yesterday, and another interesting FeedSpot 2 days ago was two scientists, what is the two Romanian scientists have been working for 4 years on replicating a flying saucer, and they have succeeded. It has twin turbine engines to propel it. It has side thrusters for yaw.